So, to introduce linear equations, you can say this is what we have been doing. If you do an AP, then what you say is every time, every new term is going to change by the same amount. So, every time the next term will change by the same height, let's say 3. So, next time it will always change by the height 3. So, if I take all these points, it's a straight line, and the straight line is basically a linear equation. So if so that is one place to actually start. So if you have any term, right, which is the ith term, so we had said that a term of an AP is the general term of an AP is described as A, which is the initial state. Here it's 0, but it's the first term. So let's say it's 0 term. Okay. So A is the first term, and then I have n minus 1 times d. So this is usually how I describe what is an element, let's say x of n in an AP. So if you actually, so that's what a linear equation is. It's that things are changing the same way linearly as a function of the independent variable x or time or whatever, or n in this case n. Not x of n, I should have said y of n, so that's y. Okay, so that's one example of a linear equation. And the other that's usually given is if you have a flat smooth road and you have an object that is moving at a speed of s, then how much distance does it cover, right? So that this distance is equal to speed into time. So this is also a linear equation. So in this case, if you have distance d and time t in the x-axis, then you'll basically get a straight line, and the slope of the straight line is basically s. So ways to introduce could include GeoGebra, in which you essentially draw straight lines, and it gives you the equations for it, right? So you could ask children to take any 2 points and draw straight lines and find out what is the equation of all these straight lines, and they'll find that it's always of the form y is equal to something x plus c, right? So that will also give them an idea that it's always a linear variation. So linear variation or linear equations, basically whether it's positive or negative, then that maybe that also will come out if you play with it with lines in GeoGebra, is another way of further introducing what linear equations are. So I think these are some of the ways in which we can introduce linear equations.